Welcome everyone. This is episode 8 of Kapi Power Session series, and the series name is Celebrating Life. I'm Smita Umeshan, founder of Nimittam, and Kapi Power Sessions are part of this initiative called Nimittam. So, today we have a talented person in our show. Her name is Nasira Razak. She's a talented architect, a Bharatanatyam dancer, a very popular people manager, and also she's a wanderlust by heart, right? So I know Nasira Razak from a very long time. She's my childhood friend, and I call her a Shiro basically because the way she leads her life, she's very creative, not only at a professional level, even at a personal level. She follows her passion. She lives her life to the fullest, and she follows. She follows her heart in whatever she does, and she experiments in life too. So let me hand it over to Nasira to say hi to you guys.
Thanks so much, Smita. It's such a wonderful introduction. Really, thank you so much. But before I start, I just wanted to congratulate you on this initiative, Nimittam. I think it's really nice, and I've been following all your episodes so far. And it's so interesting that you're finding these really cool people to come and chat, and then share their life journey. I think it's really very inspiring. So I'm very honored that you invited me to this show. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Nitu, you are aware that we're planning to do workshops for, youngsters, basically life skill workshops. So, these stories which are airing now, your episode and the other people's episode, we'll be using as a case study or a learning for these later on. So, that's the main agenda as of now.
That's awesome.
Viewers, this is just for you that both of us are childhood friends. So, we will be sharing our childhood memories as well.
Correct. Actual chaddi buddies that they say, right? Yeah, we are that.
That's true.
I know. We should talk about those days.
We'll catch up. When we'll talk about everything. So Nichu, I call Nasira Nichu because that's a pet name. Sorry to use that. I'm so impromptu that's what it comes actually.
That's fine.
Nasira is an architect that we all know because I've given an introduction in my teaser and other posters as well. So Nasira, just tell me your journey as an architect and why did you choose this profession? So in case somebody wants to choose this profession, what are the pros and cons of it basically?
So I'll be very honest, okay? I belong to a generation where a child from a middle class was generally given only 4 options, okay? You either become a doctor, or you become an engineer, or you become a CA, and the fourth option is chullu bhar pani mein doob maro. So, so I was pretty clear on what I didn't want to do. Okay, so obviously chullu bhar pani was not an option for me. Being a doctor, I always felt, I wouldn't be able to emotionally detach myself. That the whole thing about if a patient loses his life or something, I thought it would be too much of a baggage for me to handle. So doctor was also out of the picture. Now, maths was something that never interested me. So CA and banking and all of that also goes out of the window. Baja engineering. Now, what happened was, architecture was one stream where I thought it had a very unique combination of it being creative, and at the same time, you could make a profession out of it. So that was very interesting for me, right? And the fascinating thing about architecture is you're basically translating something that's in your imagination, right, into something so tangible. You're creating spaces for people around you. It could be their homes, their offices, their schools, anything. And these are the spaces they're spending most of their days in, or in fact, most of their lives in, so to speak. So, and you have a chance to create an impact through your profession. So I thought that was very interesting and inspiring for me. And that's how I thought I'll explore architecture. And I did my architecture from Sushant School of Art and Architecture in Gurgaon. So it's a 5-year course. It seems long, but now when you think back, it was such a wonderful journey for me, those 5 years. You met some of your best friends during those journeys, and it's really nice. And so after my graduation, I worked a couple of years in Delhi before I relocated to Bangalore. And now I'm working as a studio director, handling a team of around 35 people. But it's been a very interesting and exciting journey. And I'd encourage anybody who wants to be an architect to just go for it. It's a really cool profession.
Yeah, so in my PG, I was staying in a PG for a while in Bangalore, and I had a lot of people who were doing their internship for architecture. So they were asking me questions. So I used to tell them, yeah, I have a schoolmate, you should connect with her. She's the best person to guide you, basically. So
absolutely.
Large scales, chart papers. They used to make drawings. I used to remember those times when you used to carry those bags with chart papers.
And night outs and all were like part of our life only. Your project work is group works. You stay through the night. Those were all like part of my routine life then. But it's a lot of fun for sure.
See, creating, right? It's putting a visualization into a creative thing, right? That's beautiful, basically.
Yeah.
And now you told me that you are a studio director at Gensler, so you must be managing a lot of people, and you're a very popular people manager because I've seen in LinkedIn, Facebook, a lot of people giving you a lot of comments and stuff like that, appreciating your work and all those things. So, what makes you so popular among your people? Your leadership trait,
Well,
basically.
I think to start with, I never do anything to become popular. So I think that's that's the basic thing. Don't do anything to become popular because that's a sure short way to fail.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what. So every day, what I try to do is there are certain things and characteristics that you look for in a person you look up to, right? In a leader that. So there are these certain things that I look for in a leader, and that's what I try to inculcate in everyone around me and who works with me. So, in fact, one of the first thing that comes to my mind is, approachability. I think that's a very, very important characteristics of a leader. If your team doesn't feel comfortable to come to you and talk to you about something that they are stuck on, or, they find it difficult and they hesitate to come to you, I think there itself, you're creating a wall between the team and yourself, right? And that's a recipe for disaster. So you should always be very approachable to your team. Your team should be comfortable enough to come and talk to you about anything they find difficult in their day-to-day task. Then the second thing probably is, making your team feel empowered. I think that's another very, very important aspect. So once your team member knows that, you trust their capability and you trust them with a certain job, I think it automatically also creates a feeling of accountability to them, right? So when they know that, okay, my boss has given me something to do because he trusts me with it, I know I want to do the best in it, right? So that's how you stretch your potential. You go out of your way to do things right. And you fail. It's not like every time I get everything right. I fail. Of course I fail, but that's how I learn. But at the same time, when I feel that my boss is trusting me with something, I want to do the best, So that's another very important factor, I feel, yeah, to make them feel empowered. And, that's how you get accountability into them, and that's how they grow. And probably another thing I sort of intentionally do is to, have a culture of we versus I. That whole thing about, it's all about the team, and the success of a project and the failure for a project is on the team. It's never on you individually. And that's something you always need to, keep reminding the team, because it's very easy to, lose track, and, you tend to get self-centered and think about, what will make me shine or make me look good. But ultimately, it's always, as a leader, you need to ensure that your team is not losing the bigger picture and the bigger vision. Because once that happens, everyone succeeds, and your success as a leader lies completely on your team's success. So that's also something very, very important. And probably I think the last thing would be, you need to be genuine. You have to be completely invested in your team's success, and you can't fake those things. People see through that. If you're just talking, all sweet talk, people are smart, they can see through that. So you need to want your team to succeed, and because only if they grow can you grow, right? That's the whole equation. And so that's very important. And you can't have like a separate set of rules set for your team and a separate set of rules for you. You can't expect your team, you can't tell them, I need you to come at 9:30 and then you walk in at 10. So that doesn't work. So you have to work as a team, you have to work together and make them feel part of this whole vision. I think that's the gist of how I operate. So if I were to summarize, I think these are the four things that I can think of, being approachable, making them feel empowered, having a we culture within the team, and don't fake it. Be genuine, and, be genuinely invested in their growth. I think that for me are the two characteristics of a leader, and that's what I try to imbibe. And I'm hoping I'd be successful in that. So yeah,
I think you lead
that's
by
that's
example.
it.
That's why they are able to believe in your vision as well, because that's the
I
reason why.
guess so, because yeah, so like I said, when I look at a good leader, right, these are the things that I look for. So I
Yes.
need somebody who I can trust, who I can say that I know he wants me to succeed. And that you can't fake, like I said, right? वो दिख जाता है. Like if you're just
Totally
being,
correct.
saying things for the sake of it, it shows. So yeah, I
Long
completely
term,
believe in
yeah,
it.
very useful, I think, tips you've given to the people that they should look at these attributes in a leader as well. बहुत
Yeah,
big काम
that's
की
it.
बात है. Okay, I've just talked about your profession. Let me talk about your passion. Okay, now it's time for dance basically. So
Hmm.
both of us have been learning Bharatanatyam when we were kids. Basically, we had the same guru. Used to spend weekends with together, going to the classes
Yeah.
and all. So, so what made you choose dance as your passion and specifically Bharatanatyam? I think you've done a lot of different styles of dancing as well in Delhi as well as in Bangalore. So, why again you came back to Bharatanatyam basically?
Hmm. So I'll tell you, dance has been an integral part of my life ever since I remember, okay? And I think it started somewhere with my mom. So when my mom was small, right, she always wanted to pursue dancing. But because she was from a Muslim family in Kerala, right, things are pretty orthodox here. So that was never encouraged. So I think when she had me, she wanted to make sure that her child is getting that freedom to pursue dancing if she enjoys it. And I happen to enjoy it like to the fullest. I love dancing ever since I remember, you know. I was that child वो नहीं होते जो मम्मियाँ नहीं कहती बेटा अंकल को डांस करके दिखाओ. I was that, like any occasion, any time, I'll just start. I remember
You used to
at
dance.
yeah, I still remember. I think I must be 4 years old or something, dancing at one of my uncle's wedding, and I was dancing to Michael Jackson. Okay, and in a room full of burqa-clad aunties. So it was quite a funny sight. I still have a picture somewhere. I might share that with you. So I was that girl. My parents were working in Delhi, right? So I was brought up in Noida, in fact, like I said. So वहाँ पे my dad's colleague's wife, she used to teach dancing during the weekends for kids. And she was a Bharatanatyam dancer. So that was my first intro to Bharatanatyam as such. And I was probably 5 years old or so, 5, 6 years old maybe. So then what happened, when I turned 7, that's when I met our guru, you know, Srimati Jayashree Balasubramaniam, and that changed my life completely. And that's something that makes me believe, right? Anybody who wants to pursue classical dance, for example, or any form of classical art, so to speak, I think the first and the most critical step is to find the right guru. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's such a critical thing, you know, because once you have the right guru, everything else falls in place. And that's, I've like learned that through experience by finding, you know, Jayashree, and she's been such an influence in our lives. Like our childhood has been so much influenced by her, right? And it's you know, so during those growing up years also, it's so important to have like a mentor and somebody who influences your life in a positive way, because that's the time you get influenced and you can go either this way or that way. So to have somebody positive is extremely important. And she was one of those, right? You know how she was. Like she used to ace at her studies. She would be basketball captain, and she would sing in a band, and then yeah, and then she learned dancing. She'll be teaching dancing. So for me, I was in such awe of her the whole time I was growing up, right?
Multitasker.
Yeah, and exactly. And subconsciously also, like you learn and imbibe a lot of things from the person you look up to. And what happens in Bharatanatyam also is that that guru-shishya relationship, right? It's not just about dance teacher and the student. It goes beyond that. I don't know how it happens, but that's how it is. Because you almost like respect your guru so much that everything she does becomes like larger than life. And you know, that's, you remember we were like in such awe of Jayashree. Everything she does is like that's it for us, you know, word of Bible.
Knowledge.
Yeah,
Much to know.
exactly.
I mean, to
Yeah,
have
no,
such
absolutely. She's been one of my most inspiring people that I've met in my life. And so, yeah, so she basically set that foundation of Bharatanatyam for me, right? I learned from her almost like, I think 10 years, 10, 11 years till I did my Arangetam. And I think the most important thing about learning a classical art form, right? Of course, the obvious being, yeah, it makes you, you know, you're fit and, you know, all that physicality of it is there. But there are a lot of other things like, and that for me was much more impactful. So, for example, the importance of discipline, the importance of consistency, you know, the
hard.
importance of hard work. Exactly. You know, so you know, right? We used to learn together. So you learn one step, you do it again and again and again till you get it right. You just practice, and there's no shortcut to it. There's no other way you learn it. So that's something I really it's sort of set in me. So, and I've always tried to, or maybe I did it subconsciously, I don't know, but that sort of becomes your personality, and you try to implement that in other aspects of your life, because that's the most important thing, right? Once you learn that there are no shortcuts and the importance of consistency, it really helps in all other aspects. So I would encourage everyone who's listening in to really pursue, some either an art form or even sports for that matter, because I think both of them have very similar principles, so to speak. Hard work, discipline, consistency. I think these are things that are required for any art form or any sport. So I think it's very important to have that kind of a space in your life that is apart from your job, your day-to-day thing, because it sometimes subconsciously helps you so much to build your personality and help in other facets and how you operate in other aspects of your life. So yeah, so I think everyone should and there's no age. These days the options are so many, like there's no hard and fast rule that okay, you have to start learning to dance only when you're this age or whatever. You can start learning anytime you want. So that's age, right? There's so many options and there's more attached to it as such anymore. So I would really learn it and whatever. So then what happened after my Arangetam, right? I took probably a break of almost more than 15 years probably. And but I did try a lot of art forms in between. I did salsa dancing, I did contemporary dance for some time, I did jazz for some time. But then I think ultimately I'm connected to Bharatanatyam only because that's one form that actually gives me such joy. And I'm so grateful that, 3.5 years back, I met my present guru, Srimati Shubhada Prabhakar. And I've started relearning, or rather restarted learning Bharatanatyam again. And it's been such a pleasure. I mean, my weekends, I really look forward to that one class, and it's been such joy for me. So yeah, like I said, there's no age to start learning or relearning or restarting your dance. So yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, so when you started learning dance, I used to think, yes, can I also start? Because I also love dance. That's you also inspired me to start with Bharatanatyam, and also a lot of people, my friend circle also, they wanted their daughters, their kids to learn Bharatanatyam. So I think sometimes you get inspired for somebody, and other people also get inspired from you. So
Yeah,
each
it's like pay it forward types, right? Yeah, you don't maybe do it intentionally, but it's great. Like even if you impact one person, your job is done. So I'm
job is
happy.
done.
I'm so
Absolutely.
happy that you restarted dancing, man. It's really cool.
My current guru is Sri Lakshmi, and I have just met her once. So before the lockdown, I started off with my dancing,
Oh,
and just one day I
ha
met
ha
her,
ha ha.
gave her Guru Dakshina, and from that day I've not, and I did all those first few adavas, like eight or 12 steps we did, and after that I've not met her. It's all online. It's Zoom classes we attend every Sunday. I look
Yeah,
forward for those classes basically. So yeah, but it's interesting. So get back to you become a storyteller. That's one of the when
correct,
you try
correct.
to
Yes,
you
yes.
express really well. But dance taught me to express myself really well, basically,
No,
and be more
absolutely.
organized, mentally organized. That's also very important.
True, true, true. Absolutely.
Nasira, is your internet is having a problem because it's a blurred image I can see there.
Oh, is
Just
it?
check once.
I,
Yeah,
uh, is it okay now? Not
it's
sure.
it's it's little blurred.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what's happened. My connection. I can see you and me very
Okay,
good.
so
Mm-hmm.
let's
It's
okay.
better
You
now?
can be
No, it's still blurred.
it's coming as blurred only. We can see you, but it's little blurred.
Okay,
So let's
I'm
say
not sure.
I think must be some network का थोड़ा सा issue. So
हाँ,
let's talk
पता नहीं.
about our childhood now. So I mean, डांस के बारे में बता दिया, आपके अपने प्रोफेशन के बारे में बता दिया. Let's talk about the childhood you spent in Noida.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, so my earliest memory of childhood is my years in Noida, right? So because that's where I practically grew up. And what was interesting was that we used to live in this colony, and there were so many kids of our own age group, right? So we were like this one big gang always. And I think that's something that I find so missing these days, right? That whole thing of we used to practically live in each other's houses, right? We were always together, eating together, playing together, doing homework together. All of that was like 24/7 in each other's houses. So Is my screen clear now, or is it stopping? I'm not sure.
Even your screen and your sound is also not that great. It's
Oh
just
God.
check once more.
1 second. Let me just switch off.
Yeah, check your connection because a lot of people. Oh, Jeshri is also online. So Didi, Jeshri is also online.
Can you see me now?
No, it's still blurred aa raha hai. Still blurred.
अरे यार.
I can hear you. Hearing there's no problem. ठीक है. So let's continue. We'll see थोड़ी देर में क्या होता है.
Never tried this Insta live.
So Jeshri Didi saying hi.
Still
Hi
blurred, huh?
Didi.
I don't know what to do. Okay. Are you able to hear me though? ठीक है. Yeah, I think, yeah. I guess so. Oh, hi! That's so cool to see her. Yeah, so where were we? Yeah, so like I was saying, so we grew up practically in each other's houses, right? And that's something so missing these days, because now everything is so much in the virtual world, your relationships, friendship, everything is starting online, and we're just losing that human connection, I feel. So the thing is, the internet is great. It's awesome that we have internet. There's so many advantages to it, but I think somewhere we are losing out on that human connection, and that's something we should make sure that we don't, we always remember that, and ensure that connection doesn't lose out. So what's happening is, and I'll include myself in it, we are living in such silos these days. Everything is happening virtually. I myself don't know all my neighbors. I don't get to talk to them much. And like I said, when we were kids, our neighbors and all of us were like such close-knit group, right? We were eating together, playing together, and all of that. So that's something that's, I think, missing these days, and we should
I'm
really,
glad that I had
make
friends
sure
like
that we
you
don't
in our
lose
group, in
out
our
on that
colony. So we
human connection. So
I
that's, I
mean,
think, very
so if I
important.
talk about my life,
So yeah, childhood was
you
really
guys are a very
some
important
really
part of my
amazing
life
memories of
as part
Noida,
of my
I
growing up years,
guess.
basically.
Yeah, I know.
Kids used to create videos, take something, उसको
Absolutely,
gossip corner कुछ
absolutely.
बोलते थे. We used
Even
to
you
sit,
remember
stand
how
there,
when
talk
there used
about
to be a
people.
power cut, right? Us time pe there never used to be generators and inverters in houses, and all children would just come out and
We used to be
chit
power. We
chat
used to
and
go for
just hope that the
slides and
power
all.
doesn't come back so that we'll have to go back home. But those things, who
So it's
does
like
now?
fun times, basically, yeah. So now we talk. Now it was about our childhood. Now tell me about Zoe, your son, basically. So how is growing up
Yeah,
with
I'm
Zoe?
sure we did all
How
that.
is the interaction with him and his grandma and all to say Umama?
Yeah, I
He calls
know,
her
I know.
Umama, right?
Fun times, fun times. Yeah. Correct. Mama basically in Malayalam means mother's mom. So granny basically. Yeah. So yeah, I have an 8-year-old son. His name is Zohan, and ever since he came to my life, like my life has completely changed. But I'll be honest, okay? Everyone says that giving birth is like such a magical moment, and it's so transformational and all that. But I tell you that first 2 months, I was living like a zombie. Okay, you're like you have so many sleepless nights. You're like frustrated, and there's this tiny thing in your hand who's like completely dependent on you for everything, and you're just trying to gather your senses around that. And the thing is, see, the fact of the matter is, you become a mom only the day you have a baby, right? Because till then, there's no manual or there's no training that you get on how to be a mother. And every woman or every mom has her own journey with her child, and I had mine. I would take each day as it comes, and I've had a great relationship with my son so far. And the thing is, he's quite entertaining also, so he's my biggest stress buster, right? And if you know, you've heard that thing, right? They say that in a day you should make sure that you spend some time with somebody who's less than 10 years old and more than 70 years old. So I have two people of that almost the same category. So I get that experience very, very well. And the thing is with children, right? They have such a sense of wonder and excitement about everything they see in their life. And that's something we lose out as we grow into adults, right? So I think he keeps me reconnected to that portion. And the granny and the grandson are like one partners in crime, and I have to be the bad cop, so I'm the one who's getting in discipline into the whole equation. So that's how we operate. And yeah, so I live with my mom and my son, and my mom is like my biggest support ever. So like all these things that I juggle around with, I'm able to do only because she's there, and she's there to support me. And I feel very grateful, and at the same time I know I'm one of the lucky few who has that support, because I see so many amazing women around me who are so nicely balancing their career and their babies without any of this support. And that's the thing, right? In our society, unfortunately, there's a lot of guilt as women we inherit, right? So the thing is, I have complete respect for a woman who chooses to be a full-time mom. And I have the same amount of respect for somebody who chooses to
Absolutely.
pursue her career and, raise a child together. But the thing is, it has to be their individual choices. It shouldn't come because of somebody said something or anything. As long as I really believe that unless you're a happy mom, you can't raise a happy child. And that's very important. Ultimately, it is like you need to be happy within to translate that happiness into your child. So I think that's very important. So that's something I completely believe in, and
Completely,
that's
Gyan,
that's there's no place for guilt when you're trying to be happy with your choices that you make. So you shouldn't feel guilty about anything that you do. It's
I have
your
seen
own equation with your child. It's your
videos
own journey.
and a
Don't
lot of
listen
videos
to
you
other
guys do,
people's
memes also, and very
panta.
interesting.
You just you just filter that out, and that's the only way it works. You need to have your own groove in that whole journey, and that's what I've done, and it's been great so far. So I really enjoy being a mom.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, right, that whole thing about unconditional love, I think that's one thing I've learned only after
So
Zohan came
I
into my
keep
life.
looking forward for
Till
those
then you
videos
didn't even know that
like
you
when
had
you were
that
growing up years,
capacity to
basically
be
when he was
so,
a 6 months,
so
one
like
year, 2 year.
selfless to somebody. I mean, that's
So
probably one thing that's transformational, I think, what they have to call, right, being a mother. So yeah, that really brings you a lot of joy in life for sure. So.
and also he has a interesting YouTube channel as well.
Oh yeah, he's practically grown up on Facebook, so many of my friends and so many of my mom's circle who haven't even met him once, but they
So
know everything about him because of
Zoe
these
and you have
posts
been traveling also,
that we
right?
keep
All the three of you
putting
together.
on
You
it.
have seen you travel a lot. So just tell me your
Yeah.
experience with
He's
travel
very
and you keep
like
experimenting
entertaining.
with
I'm sure he's gonna
food
get
and
into
travel
media or
and stuff
something,
like that.
some kind
Once
of
in a year,
performing arts. I'm sure he'll do.
I mean,
He's
international
quite
travel also you do.
he's
That's
quite
what
the
I've seen
entertainer.
from
Yeah.
and the best part is you put your pictures and viewed in such a way that I feel as if I visited that place. So, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I think that Yeah. So I think the
Hmm.
travel bug hit me when I was a child itself, right? So my mom was in the railways, so she used to get a lot of these passes to travel anywhere within the country. So we traveled all through India a lot. We used to go for these vacations, and all were train journeys. But I think one of my earliest, most vivid memory of travel is our yearly trip to Kerala. So my family, like my parents' family, are in Kerala, right? So every year for summer break, we used to travel to Kerala, and that train journey from Delhi to Kerala is a
Yeah.
2.5 days journey in a train. Okay, and I think my first encounter of social networking before the pre social whatever, Orkut and Facebook and all of this era used to happen in the train. So you know how there are these berths, okay? So it's a 3-day journey. So the first day there'll be one family sitting next to you, and you'll stick it to, you'll just maintain your hi, hellos, and all that is done in the day one. Okay. By day two, you're like sharing your food and you're playing Antakshari and all of that happens. And by the third day, when you reach Kerala, you would know your entire family history, and you would have exchange numbers and all of that. So those are such amazing memories I have. So many new people I met during those journeys. So those were really fun times. And then what happened was, as I grew up and I started earning my own money, that's when I ventured international. And I make it a point to, explore one new place in a year. And my travel buddies are always my mom and Zoe. So three of us like really have a blast exploring new places. And I think traveling is so, so important. Like I can't say it enough. And I'm saying it through experience, right? So what happens is, as soon as you travel to your new destination, right, you get to learn about new cultures, you're meeting new people, you're trying out interesting food, you know their history. And these are things that you will never ever get out of just reading from a book or seeing it on screen, right? You have to experience it yourself. And that's why I feel, you save enough money and spend it on travel rather than anything on material life, because I think these are experiences that you'll never get out of anything. So I'm a big proponent of travel. And the thing is, we get to learn so much. In fact, I'll tell you a story about, I recently went to Bhutan, okay, 2 years back. And before planning that trip, just before planning that trip, I got to know that, Bhutan is known to be, or known to have the highest happiness quotient, right? And I didn't even know there was a parameter to score happiness in a country or whatever. So that was new to me. And the thing is, once you go there, only you realize how true that is, and why it is the truth. Because the culture, Smita, is so simple. Like that's there's a Hindi word we call shosha, like it's just showing off your wealth and showing off your whatever. That's so missing there. Like you can be the richest person in Bhutan and you can be an absolute middle class person, but you'll never know the difference because your lifestyle is so similar. Your food palette is so simple. The way you dress is so simple. And that's what I realized, right? That they're so content. Like any person there is so content with what they have. And that's such a big lesson, right? And they follow Buddhism a lot. So when I went to their monasteries, I in fact learned about this whole principle of detachment, how it's so important that you don't get attached to materialistic things, and just be content with what you have. In fact, I don't know if you can you see that red poster right behind me? So it's a quote. It basically says, "Sirf sukoon dhoondiye, zarooratein to kabhi khatam nahi hongi." So basically it means that you need to be content with what you have, because your needs are never ending. It will just go on. So I think that's beautiful, and that's something I learned from Bhutan. That was my big takeaway from that travel. And that's the thing, right? Every place you travel, you'll have something to learn, something to take away, and those are experiences that nothing else can give. So that's why, everyone who's listening in, please travel, please travel every chance you get. And there are so many places within India also to explore, right? And you've been such an inspiration. There's one thing that I've not done is a trek. I really, really want to, do that. And I was hoping to do that this year, but maybe next. But yeah, I really love the fact that you've done so many treks, and that's something I need to explore. Because India has so many opportunities to trek as well, isn't it?
It's Australia. So there's
So
lots of peaceful
yeah,
places where I
someday
want to
maybe.
go. But I can agree to you that you experience life through travel. So I have done that.
Nice.
Yeah, I stayed with locals. I've stayed at in small places, not in hotels and all. So I have actually
Wow.
understood their culture and all. And Bhutan is among my favorites. So the tiger nest is
Awesome. Yes, totally. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh yeah, that trek was so memorable for me. Like I took my then 5-year-old child and he trekked the whole way. I'm sure he cursed me a lot for that time, but that's an experience he will remember, because when you reach that peak and you reach that monastery, right, that feeling of,
yeah, it's
I mean, I'm
beautiful
sure he
experiences
feels so
basically.
much
So today I
he's
posted
achieved
something
through
on my.
that,
I
that
normally
it
put
took
travel
probably
photos every day.
4 hours
So
or
today I
something
posted
to
air wheels from
get to the
Bhutan. So
top, but
coincidence that we're
I was
talking
so proud of
about
him, that the
and
fact that, he did it. And
so
yeah, those are
which
experiences
you would
that
live your
you'll
life to the
never
fullest
forget in your
basically,
life. So
right?
that's
So what is
really,
one thing which makes you live life to the fullest?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Ah. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, I think I try not to overthink things too much. I try to live in the now, right? Yeah, so I'm very planned and I'm very organized and I like to know what I'm doing in a day. But the thing is, if I want to do something, I don't brood about it too much. I just go ahead and do it. I don't think about the repercussions or okay, if I fail or what will happen or whatever. So if I want to experiment something new, and if it's there in my heart that I want to do it, I'll just follow it and I will just go ahead and do it. And another thing I think that really
Yeah.
helps is that you shouldn't take yourself too seriously in life. It's very important to have a sense of humor, and that's something that really helps me. And there's a line somewhere I read where it says, every time you find humor in a difficult situation, you win. So that's something that I totally believe in. For me, like if I'm able to laugh in a difficult situation, I think that's the way I am able to mentally handle it. So I tend to make light of things that are usually difficult to handle. And that's, I think, for me, the best way. For me, humor is extremely important. And the thing is, yeah, end of the day, if you know your intentions are right, if you know what you're doing is good for you and you're following your heart, you should just do it. Because, things are never as bad as they look and they're never as good as they seem. So everything is transient, right?
Go
Your
with the
ups and
flow.
downs are part
Do
of your
things
life.
when they're
So you
like
just
us.
go with the flow,
Yeah,
take
basically
each day as it
that's
comes,
how
and
life
just
should
just
be,
be
right?
positive.
You complicate banana simple like you.
Nothing nothing bad is ever going to happen if your heart is at the right place. So just believe in that and do what your heart tells you. I think that's how I live my life. So
True.
go with the
No,
flow.
it's true.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think it was really
correct.
nice to talk about your profession, your
Exactly. फालतू में
motherhood,
सोच के,
passion,
and overthinking
dancing,
never helps.
etc.,
Like
and
it's
all
not
also
like it's
about our
going to
childhood
change your
as well, our
situation
memories
by
of
just by
childhood,
thinking you're not going
travel
to
as
resolve
well. So you've
anything.
given us a
So
lot of
there's no
insights.
point
But tell me
stressing.
one thing, what do you
So
want to tell
but yeah.
viewers as a takeaway from your life, what you've experienced through your life?
So, yeah, I think I'll probably there are at least two really what do you call them? There are these two quotes that really I relate to, right? One of them is where it says, let your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. So what it basically for me translates to कि अपना कर्म करो और फल की चिंता मत करो. You do what you feel is right. You do what makes you happy. Don't let external negativity, affect you too much. And as long as you know your heart is in the right place, just go for it and just do that. So don't let other people or others' opinions, bog you down. So don't let that affect your smile and try to spread
How we,
the joy and that
yeah,
happiness that you have within you and others. And then there's a really beautiful quote that Mary Angelou
passion.
said, right, where she said that people may forget what you said, people may forget what you did, but they'll never forget, they'll always remember how you made them feel. Yeah, so that's so important, right? I think it's, being kind to others. That's, and especially in today's world, it's so important to be kind to each other. As humans, that's probably one of our basic responsibility to do, be kind to one another. And I think you need to start with yourself. You need to accept your flaws. You need to accept yourself as you are. You need to love yourself first. Only then you're able to, give out joy to the others. Because unless you're happy, like I mentioned sometime before, that unless you're happy, you won't be able to make anybody around you happy. So just be yourself. Just be, I would think, just
So
be
yeah, I normally
comfortable in
say
your own skin
we follow that
and
Navrasasana, like Jio to
follow
Pura
your
Navrasa
heart. You
you
live
should
only
be
once. You
happy,
only have
express
this one
yourself. Yeah,
life.
that's
just
it.
just
Go with the
enjoy the
flow,
journey, have
just
fun,
let you.
and yeah, just be
Because
happy.
one
I
life.
think
So
that's
there's
the biggest,
a word called
probably, yeah,
Yuna
takeaway
Vida,
if you'd
which
like.
means one life. So there's a girl called Shivya Nath. I met her
Mm,
when there was a book called
correct,
Shooting Star. So
correct.
I met her in a book launch. She had written, and I was
Yes,
asking her
absolutely,
whether I should go for the
absolutely.
sabbatical. It's this when I was deciding whether I
True,
should
true,
take a
true.
break or not. So she said, "One life. Why are you thinking? Go with it."
Yuna Vida. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. I've heard of that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. You have to be your best friend. That's it. That's that's the only thing you can do. So it was a pleasure having you on our show. It was good talking to
No,
you after a very
seriously,
long
that's what
time.
I said.
I
Now,
think
if you
we met
feel right about it and if your
एक सौ
heart says
मिले थे
just
यार. I
go for
think
it,
last
just go
November
for
when
it.
I
Don't
came
think of
back
anything
from
else. So,
Mount Everest
yeah,
when I was
that's
base camp.
that's
So we
that's
met
how
at
it is.
that point of time. I was completely lost time figuring it out
True, true, so
how to
true.
get back to my city life. So yeah, now I'm much better back into a corporate career and
I
starting with these
know,
all those
I know.
initiatives. Let's see where all it takes me to. So let me.
Correct, correct, correct. Yeah. No, I must say I talk about you to a lot of my friends too. You know, you're so inspiring the way you're leading your life. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to, take a break from your happening corporate
So much.
career
I
and
need
just, take
this
that
all the
break to
support
travel and
everybody has given
explore
me,
the
my
world.
friends
And
and
you
everything.
did that.
Whatever
And
I
I
do,
think
they're
that's
there with me.
amazing. And
So
then
that's some
you're
of the reasons I think a
writing
good
a book
experiment
now, which is
also.
going to come out
If I
soon,
don't
which
have,
is
I don't get the
really
support from
awesome.
my
It's
inner
like so
circle or my
cool that, I
family
know a
or my
friend who's an
friends,
author. That's so
then it's
awesome.
very
So I
difficult to
really
move ahead
wishing
as well.
you all
So
the
let me
best
check
for
for any
that.
questions or any
Um,
comments. Okay, एक second. Mm. Oh, Didi
absolutely.
ka message is that good to see
Absolutely.
you girls.
Absolutely.
And there are other people who said hi. So hi everyone. Now it's time to wind up our show basically. So yeah,
Of
thanks once
course.
again,
Of
Asira,
course.
for coming to our show. It was pleasure talking to you, and thanks viewers for watching our episode. And I hope you had a great time listening to our conversation. So I had a great time. It was enjoyment. So much. Thank you so much. Uh,
I
yeah,
had a blast,
let's say
right?
bye
It
to the
was
viewers.
really
Bye,
good. And thank
viewers.
you so
Let's
much
catch up
again for
next week with
inviting me, Smita.
another
I feel
talented
really
person in our
honored that
Celebrating
you
Life
invited me
episode.
for this,
Till then,
your chat
bye.
show. And I
See ya.
really wish you all the best for your
Bye bye.
initiative, Nimitam. And yeah, I hope you go places.